Hey guys, welcome back into the second part of the validation course when we are going to talk about the reference management. I'm pretty sure that you heard about this one before, and also it is really important to see that it's not just like, okay, I'm going to put all the references at the back of my thesis work. It has a really strict rule how to manage these and what is the format. And it's not just about like the TDK work or a thesis work. It's also in a manuscript and also in a PhD dissertation as well. And if you would get a reviewer who is really itchy about this one, then you would get a lot of trouble afterwards. So now let's see what we can do and how we can do this. First of all, this picture shows you that there are many options to help yourself out with kind of applications like the EndNote, the Mendeley, the RefWorks, Citavi or Citavi, JabRef or PaperPile. But this will be in the very end of the course. So now let's see why we need to work on this one. Because if I refer back to these formal requirements, if you remember that there were many cases in which we were talking about the material and methods, which were the recipe, right? But there's another thing in which the TDK thesis manuscript, PhD dissertation, and the doctoral dissertations are common. These are the references. Whatever you do, whatever you write, whatever you show, it needs to be referred to something. Because be honest, you are not the new Columbus, right? Because America has been already revealed. So that happens here in science as well. Many of the research is facing the same problem that you had a kind of good idea in which you were, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then you take a look at the literature and oh my gosh, it has been done. It has been done. Yeah, somebody was thinking about this one too. So this is a problematic. But if this happens, the only valid and legal schedule and movement is that you need to refer or cite that article in your TDK work, thesis work, and so on and so on. If you don't do that, from that point, that's called plagiarism, which is not that good because people can have a kind of, they can sue you if this is so serious. So in that case, today we are going to learn how we need to do these references, what is the formal requirements, and what we can do in the online surface. But before we jump into the details, I think this figure shows the whole reference stuff. Like in one picture, everything is there. And I'm pretty sure that maybe you know this figure. Can I turn in a paper without citing all sources? No. William Shakespeare, Hamlet, and so on and so on. And if you are working on something in a TDK work, in a thesis work, PhD dissertation, the university has its own security panel in which they are checking the plagiarism. And it's really funny because they are not checking like wisely, I would say. They just giving you the plagiarism check without any setups. And that gives you the same thing what you see on this figure. Because even if you write like, hey, the figure was made with this program and they're going to put like, oh, you took that and from something, even from Wikipedia. So you are like, this is clear plagiarism. So it is really funny, but there is a certain percentage of all the works which are allowed to have like, as a plagiarism, but after a certain percentage, it takes like a really serious steps afterwards. So if you take a look how the references looks like, obviously you know that there are like these written journals, and also there are some websites that you can use. So for that one, these are different rules by which you need to follow them. First of all, this was like a journal. As you see, these are the, I guess, these are the authors and then the title of the manuscript. And then you would see that which journal it was published, what is the date and the year, and also the page numbers. Also, we have these DOI numbers and references, and also the PM IDs, which is really specific for the journal. If you're working with a website, you really need to write like the HTTP and HTTPS, blah, 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 dot, blah, blah, blah. and so on and so on. But there's a chance that we can use websites. And just be honest with yourselves. I'm pretty sure that you're using Wikipedia or you use Wikipedia, but you did not put the references there, right? That, hey, this comes from Wikipedia. But also, if you take a look at the Wikipedia site, you will see that there are many, many references underneath. So this how it should work. You need to cite every single thing which is not yours. The reason why is it important? Because like, as I mentioned, the plagiarism is there. So in that sense, there are two things involved in this whole, information borrowing method. The first one is the citation. The citation must be placed at the beginning, middle, or at the end of the borrowed information. So it's up to you how you do it. Like, for example, my friend said that this, and he published that one. So I need to write that, I don't know, how can I say, for example, Jolt et al. Published that this protein is blah, 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 blah. Or you can do the same thing in, in brackets, you can put the information in Jolt et al. But whatever you choose, I mean, whatever style you choose, like in the beginning or in the middle or in the end, you need to follow the same thing. So it's really like strict. Whenever type and style you choose, you need to follow the same thing during the whole study, TDQ work, and so on and so on. The second one is the reference list, which contains the full description of all those sources that you were using. So if you mentioned that Joel et al. Was doing this and that, in the reference list, there should be like a really detailed version of like, okay, who is the author? What was the journal event? When it was published? What is the exactly page numbers? And so on and so on. So usually the general rule is that these references in the reference list needs to be placed in alphabetical order at the end of the paper. And it's based on the supervisor, whether they know it or not, or even in the case of the manuscript and the journals, there are certain rules for that. But as many TDK work and thesis work I saw, there was nothing there which is following the rules, like alphabetical order or enumerated and so on. So let's go further and let's see what we have here and why the citing material is so strict. First of all, because it needs to be easy to find afterwards. So you really need to put all the authors' names, the last name, the year of the publication, the journal names, and so on, what I mentioned before. But if we are talking about inside the text, in, for example, like these brackets, then you need to just write the author last name and the year of publication. So when we are talking about this in-text form of citing, every single sentence, which is not your, how can I say, individual product of your beautiful mind, and it is not published yet, or it is published somewhere, you need to write in the text the correspond reference, and also that reference needs to go into the reference list at the end of the work. If you missed this one, people would say like, hey, are you sure that this is the one that you think that it's okay, or you just find these? So there is a certain rule of this one, because I'm pretty sure that when you are, let's say, reading an article, you will find many of the informations. And if you are referring like not just one sentence topic finding in a literature material, then there is a chance that you can put like a whole paragraph, and at the end you would put like, I don't know, Kish et al. At the end. So it is also not that good if you just write every single sentence from that journal, and then in the end you will put like Kish et al., Kish et al., Kish et al., Kish et al. Because if the same thing comes from the same article, you can have like a big paragraph, and then you would put at the end. But if you take my advice, this is also not that good looking, because people would say like, finally you find an article and now you put all the information from there, right? So please be like gentle and read a lot and refer a lot of literature. So if we go further, let's take a look how these basic formats looks like. So if we are talking about an article, we need the author's last name, first, middle name, if it's available, and mostly the initials. We need the publication date, the title of the article, the title of the journal, and the volume number with the starting and the end page numbers. So here, this was the first author, and then the second one. And then this was the title, the year, the page numbers, and also the remaining informations. If you are talking about a book refers like biochemistry, in that sense, we need the author last name or the other one's initials, the copyright date, the book title, and the publisher's city and the publisher's name. So in that sense, it's a bit different. Most of the book publications, they do not have these PMCIDs or PMIDs, but you need to put all the available informations because when somebody is looking for the original source, they need to find it. And let's go further with like how we are going to refer if we have a one author system. So if there's only one author, the citations looks like this. So you just put the name and then in the year of the publication. When we have two authors, this is easy because you just need to say like, okay, Stan and Pan and the year. But afterwards, if you have more than three authors or three authors, usually we are not writing every single one. We're just saying that, okay, this is the first author and at all, because we don't need to put all the other authors from the article. Using websites, this is a totally different kind of electronic sources. But here, what we need to use, like in the text, we can put like the web page title. I mean, like the website from where you took it. But usually these kind of things are not coming properly in the reference list. However, there is a key to creating a reference list entry to determine the type of the content of the web page. But for that one, you need to put the author, the date, the title of the document, and the website from which you retrieved that one. And if you want to cite this in an in-text, then you need to use the author and the date. And you need to follow the manuscript, TDK work, or the other thesis requirements. And there is one more thing here, which I just want to mention, because this is how the reality works. Because when you join to a research group, obviously you are going to check or read your supervisors, your previous colleagues' work, right? And it's really easy because what you will say, like, okay, the preliminary data shows this and this, and our work group showed before this and this. And I think this is the time when you are starting to do the self-citations, which is the worst. Obviously, you cannot avoid this one because if you have any results which is already published in a different article, you can refer to that one. But if you continuously just refer back to your previous articles, it is, giving at the end an unpleasant reaction because the reviewer said like, you're just referring your previous work. Why you are so egoistic? Maybe narcissistic as well. So you are not reading the literature properly, you're just checking your previous colleagues' work. Okay, denied, rejected. That happens. So please be aware that self-citations are not the best decision. However, in a certain amount, you can do it if there is a crucial information that you want to refer, just to support the current work. And now let's take a look how these websites looks like. The first one is the PubMed, what you can use. And the article, what I showed you, I was checking this one as well. So this is how the website looks like. As you see, this is the formatting references for scientific manuscripts. These are the authors. And also there are some short, let's say, informations about the article. If this is a website in which the article is free, you would get the whole thing for free. As you can see here, you can click on the PDF, but also you see that these are the IDs by which it can be identified easily. And also sites and collections, these are the most important buttons on the website. Because when you want to get the proper citation format, you just need to click on Cite, and then it is giving you this small window in which you see that the formatted requirements are there, and also you can cite the article. Just click copy, but take care of that which format you need. So if you click on that small part, you see that there are a lot of options to do. And the APA is the one which is the most common one. So I changed to that one and copied into the PPT today. If you don't want to work one by one, and if you don't want to type one by one, that's when the reference manager programs can help you. These are like desktop applications as well, but also you can have like an online library for yourself, and it can help you just to have the proper formatting methods. And basically, it literally saves your life because you don't need to do it one by one if something has been changed. So if you use, for example, EndNote on Mendeley, with 1-2 clicks, the whole reference list changes. If you change your mind and you're going to send to another journal or the formal requirements are changing. But this is a different story, which will be on the ongoing lectures. If you need any more information, you can click on this link below, and then you will find which are the most used reference management softwares. But besides, I want to show you the Google Scholar. Google Scholar is a kind of scientific Google, I would say. If you are interested in this one, if you have a Gmail account, then you can work with Google Scholar as well. And it is important to see that if you give the proper information, like where you are working, what is your position, and also like which institute they are working, then it can give you a proper statistic. So usually Google Scholar provides you a simple way of the scientific literature. It is also like the PubMed, but it's more user-friendly, I would say. Also important to know that if you are in the Google Scholar, then it is going to rank your documents, and also it is making statistics for your scientific reputation. It is going to calculate how many citations you have, or these are totally independent or dependent, or like which journals that you are published. And based on that one, you can have like a really good score. Also important to see that with the Google Scholar, you can search all the literature. And even there is like, and this is the best part, I love this one in Google Scholar. If you starting to search, even for researchers, you can do this. Because if you validate your public author profile, everyone can find you and see your publications. Look at this one. So as I mentioned, that the Google Scholar is starting to make statistics about your work. So if you take a look at here one, the age index, the age code, the median, and all other like statistics are there. So if you are going to apply for a grant, and if you looking for the details of your Google Scholar metrics, you can do that one. How it works, if you type in your web browser that Google Scholar, and if you type your name there, then it is going to give you many different targets. So as you see, I type my name here, and also these are the ones which are on the top of these search. And as you see, this is the title of the article, these are the authors, and also down, I know it is in Hungarian, but I'm pretty sure in English as well, you would see that you can save, and also you can cite. And this is one of the good part, because if you click on cite, then it is going to give you chances like, okay, we have 3 optional basic type of citing formatting. So please choose one and copy that one. So I'm going to choose the APA, and then I'm going to insert it into my article. So this is how it works. But also, which is the good part, Google Scholar helps you to work with your reference management programs like EndNote, RefMan, or RefWorks, and BibTeX. So you have plenty of options. It's up to you how you want to make your life harder or easier, but Google Scholar is a really, really good application. And if you validate your profile, as I did with mine, as you see, it is written that this is University of Debrecen. And also I have an email address, which is my official email address. And based on my articles, they are categorized me in biochemistry and leukemia. And as you see, based on the years, it is listing all the articles that we made. While on the right side, there is a statistical representation, how many articles we have and how many documents we have, and what about the citations statistics. And also, if you would scroll down, you would see many, many different detailed statistics about your scientific activity. So as I did before on the previous lecture, here, this QR code is going to work as it was on the first lecture. So please go ahead and check the question. Do not forget that you need to use your own name. And hurry, because the test and this QR code is only available for 10 minutes. And last but not least, let's talk about the homework. So as many of you did the previous homework in which you were talking about the graph, so you need to give like a title and also like the figure legend. So now your homework is to do a proper citation in text citations and reference list citation. So there were two topics, topic A and topic B. Topic A relates to the cats, while the B relates to mostly dogs. So I took some part of the article, which is basically the conclusion or the discussion, and your task is to write down a sentence from these, but be careful because it shouldn't be the same thing. So you need to rephrase it. And then afterwards, you need to put the proper reference inside in text citation form. And please use your original Word document in the Drive folder, because then I can help you to improve your writing skills during the course. So I hope it was not a big deal. So have a good practice with the references, and let's see you on the next lesson.